Hello friends, it's Barbra-SUE at Kowalski Mountain. Welcome back. So today we are in the kitchen and I am going to be making some Christmas candy as treats with our fresh raw honey. If you remember, we've harvested 70 pounds of honey and I've got to come up with some ways on how to use all this honey. I actually got a request from my daughter-in-law Jess that she wanted some honey-covered spoons. And so today I'm making those treats that I'm going to send to her in the mail. And I'm going to bring you along while I do it. I am recording this before Christmas, but you're not going to get to see it until after because I can't give away all my secrets. So come along, join me in the kitchen while I make some honey treats for our family for Christmas. Now for the honey-coated spoons, it's a hard crack kind of candy, and so I need 1 cup of our pure raw honey, and I also need 4 cups of sugar, and I use raw sugar when I'm cooking. I need a half a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now I've already pre-measured everything, so we can get started right away. I don't want to waste a drop of this delicious honey. We're going to start this recipe at a high heat. I'm going to go ahead and get this combined and get this temperature rolling. I'm going to go ahead and add my candy thermometer. It needs to be so that the tip is in the honey but not touching the side. Supposed to be stirring this with a wooden spoon, so I'm going to change over to a wooden spoon. The candy is about halfway there. We're a little over 150 degrees. It needs to get up to 310 degrees, which is considered hard crack stage with candy. Once the mixture comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down to a simmer. Temperature is right about 245. The instructions are a little vague at this point. It doesn't say if I should continue stirring it. I am, just because I don't want it to burn. And also it is bubbling up quite a bit still, even though I've turned it down. So I'm trying to keep that a little bit at bay. Right now we are at the soft ball stage of candy making. And I know that because my candy thermometer tells me. I have to admit, this smells really good. The honey flavor is just, or that honey aroma is just filling warming up my room. I still need to go up about 70 degrees in my temperature. I have it on a low. We're not really simmering still. We've still got a lot of boiling going on here. Well, that temperature is just hanging out at 250. So I went ahead and stopped stirring the mixture. I Googled it to see if I should be. And stirring is actually going to create crystals in my candy, and we don't want that. So we'll see how it turns out. I've never made this before, so I'm certainly learning. The candy's temperature is going to rise as the moisture boils out of it. And so right now we're just waiting for that to happen. It's still hanging out right at 250 degrees. So I'm skimming a little of the foam off the top of this. It's still hanging out right at about 260. I tried to turn the temperature up a little bit to move it along, but that brought it back up to a full rolling boil, and that's not what we want. Now I'm using 2 spatulas, and the reason is because this one is the one that I'm dipping into the pot, and the other one is because that's the one I'm tasting the candy with. Still 260. It's not going up. What I read was that as the moisture evaporates out of the candy, that will cause the temperature to rise. So it looks like that's a process we can't hurry. I'm finally seeing something happening over here. I didn't really pay attention to when I started, so I'm not sure how long this has been going. I have it on a really low simmer, but it started boiling on its own. I've done nothing to change the temperature, and it is slowly climbing in temperature. I'm up to about 270, and I need it to get to 310, which is hard crack stage of candy making. So we're making progress. Well, this has been taking a really long time. I've been at this about an hour and a half, and I've done a little Googling, and I just don't know that it should have taken so long. I've turned up the heat a little bit, and I don't know if you can tell, but I boiled it over. So that's going to be fun to clean up. But my temperature's just not going up. It's staying right at 250, 260. I'm trying not to stir it because it needs to have the moisture cook out of it, but I just boiled it over, so I'm trying to keep that from happening again. And what was smelling really nice with the honey is now not smelling so nice with the burning candy underneath my pot. The color's really changing. A very dark amber color. I can tell in my bowl that it's really changing in its stage of cooking. The temperature's just not climbing like I want to see it. So some of the candy that I've been skimming off the top, it's at the soft ball stage. So I dumped it out and I put it just into little logs, and I'm actually going to go ahead and wrap it up in some candy wrappers, and we'll still eat this. It's really good. It's just not at the same level as what these spoons are going to be. the spoons are slowly going up in temperature. So we'll see how long that takes. I bought some wrappers to do the bit of honey, so I'm going to wrap this up and keep it. Probably could have gone a little bit bigger than that. First time I've ever used one of those wrappers. But there we go. We're finally making progress. It took about 2.5 hours to get this up to this stage of hard crack. We are just about there. I'm a little worried that it took so long. I hope it's not burnt. It's hard to tell because what I boiled over is smelling burnt, and I can't do anything about it as long as I'm cooking this. So it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. So we're gonna do a little test. This is cold water. I've had it in the refrigerator, and we're just gonna drip a little bit of the honey mixture in it and see what happens. It should be brittle and break. Oh, I think we're good. I think we're good. Crunchy. Oh, stuck in my tooth. I think it's good. I'm going to put this whole pan into cold water. Because we want this to stop cooking. And what I did was I put cold water in a big cast iron skillet. That would be big enough to put my pot in. It's not very deep, but it is. It's big enough for my pot to fit into, which is what I needed. So this is what I'm getting. Definitely an art. These aren't exactly pretty, but hopefully they're going to taste good. That's about all I can get out of the pot. I'm going to try to use my spatula to at least get the rest out before it hardens, and we're going to see how these taste. Well, that does not want to come out of there. I'm going to try it. I think it tastes a little bitter. I think it took way too long to cook. Like I said, I've never tried this before. I did it as a request, and I guess we'll find out what Jess thinks. So my spoons have set, and I'm putting them in the little baggies. They're a little stickier than I expected, so I'm rolling the tops of the bags down to put them in. I'm not really sure what I think about them. I kind of feel like they taste a little bit bitter, but I'm not really sure. So I'm going to bag them up and I'm going to share them anyway. You can see how it's sticking to the plastic a little bit. It's hard to get them in the bags. Roll that down. And then I have little ties. The stove cleaned up really well. This is actually all the honey I scraped off the bottom of the stove. I'm not going to keep that. It's kind of gross. But the stove got a really good cleaning, and with hot water it cleaned up really well. So that's a relief. So now I just need to bag up all these candies.